Well.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine, living life with the noose and in my mind, all I hear is music. Watching your mouth move, damn you look stupid. I feel like everyone's a stranger. Small talk with your narcissistic neighbor. She's real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did and I hate her. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, no, see you later. Sometimes I just wanna be a hater. Gotta wash down the top 40s with a chaser. Your voice starts feeling like a waiter, scraping my mind against a cheese grater. Before you go, sir, you have to sign a waiver. That's alright, I'm aware of the danger. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
We're back.
We are back.
How you
All right.
doing this evening, Clayton?
Doing good. I couldn't hear it there at first. There we go. Of course, tonight, I guess we're doing
Saw that.
we have the Ruger Mini 14 ranch rifle. So
The definition of a bullet hose right there.
yeah, I've had
My
this
dad
for a
has one
while.
of those.
They're fun to shoot. I'm not.
Yeah, they are real fun.
The grouping on them. If you're looking for grouping, this is not your gun. These are not the guns for you.
Man.
Move along.
I'm gonna tell you, an AK-47 is probably more accurate than that thing.
Yeah, I got one of them too.
I got mine in the background. I don't know if everybody's seen it before. I don't have that big selection like Clayton, but you can see it back there.
We can do this all year.
I'm kind of feeling like Jeb Bush tonight. You know what that means?
Oh my god.
Low energy.
I was gonna say, I actually knew that one. What's wrong?
I don't know. We might change here when we get going.
All right. Well, then I guess what we need to do is better get the chat overlay turned on. And I screwed up and didn't have that on. So we got a bunch of them. We got, hey, Eric, good evening. And Brian, hello, fellow MVEs. Waylon Turnus is Marty Beard. Of course, Marty, he's always got something to say. Wish I had a piece of that delicious watermelon right now. Kevin, hey, Kevin, great to see you from Pennsylvania. Gene Cox, no accuracy. Boy, we got our theme song, no filter, maybe, no accuracy on those damn things. Vance is joining us from down there in Georgia. God, you got to clean that state up down there. I hear things all the time down there in their politics.
Yeah, well, they got a riot going on again, man.
I know. Old age, Eric says.
Yeah, probably.
Lynette says, hey, you need vodka, Jamie. Guys, I will say tonight I'm drinking a little peach crown out of my Lauer Auto Repair
Nice mug you got there.
Yeah, how about that? With tonic water, and I got a little Alabama Slammer. I got some Alabama moonshine in there from the
Actually, what I need is a shot of Fireball, but I don't have any of that. So, and I'm not going up to look for any. So you just have to go with a couple Coors Lights I got here and
Well,
hope it
I'm going to put you
improves.
on the spot tonight. Why don't you
Okay.
give us the Second Amendment tonight?
All right. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And we are going to talk about a lot of people who think that should be infringed upon tonight. But
yeah, it's a full show.
We also have a list of people from Hollywood who think that infringing on it is not the way to go.
I know, it's amazing.
We got
They're out
quote, there. Yeah, and we got little quotes from each of them. So when we start getting through that list, I'm going to read the quotes, and then we'll go over and then me and you, we're going to play. Are they really Second Amendment, or are they fudge?
I had to print it off, but I better find it here. I know I have it printed off here. So, well, let's get right into it, guys. I think we're going to start out with Utah Senate Bill 50. I don't know. This came about because, essentially it's an assault weapons ban. Kind of emulates what the feds had done at different times, and so this gal was trying to do this at the Senate level.
Yeah, so that's how it's Kathleen Reed, Democrat. Yes, shocker, right?
Yeah, shocker. And basically, I mean, the highlights of it, creates a waiting period between the purchase of an assault weapon from a dealer and the delivery of assault weapon to the purchaser. 10 days, guys.
Was it 10 or okay? I thought it was 20. Was there a 20-day stipulation for something too?
There could have been, but in the final thing that was introduced, it ended up being 10.
Okay.
Ammoland's
final piece of common sense.
Yeah, Ammoland, they kind of put out a whole bunch of this stuff on it.
Yep.
The big thing had to do with lines 142 to 208, and they're right. That essentially was a Glock. Say you have a Glock 19 with a threaded barrel, that was going to honestly be considered probably an assault weapon. Any semi-auto that had a threaded barrel essentially was going to become an assault weapon.
Well, I mean, everything down there's come with threaded barrels now. I mean, now mostly rifles, but right before that, though, Clay, I got a kick out of this. At the time of the purchase, the FFL is to distribute a cable-style gun lock.
Yeah.
The damn thing's already come with gun locks. I mean, ARs probably don't. I mean, I don't think I read an AR come with a gun lock, but they get that stupid little chamber flag. But
right,
every other gun I get a pistol or any semi-automatic pistol or any other kind of rifle I got, it comes with a freaking gun lock. You know where all those are? There's a pile of them out in my closet. I mean, if somebody don't have a gun, I'm gonna club them over the head with the damn things.
I'm trying to. Hey, Leon's with us tonight.
Joining us here.
What I noticed when I was working for the NRA, I forget which company did it. I don't know if you were a volunteer by then, Jamie, but I had bags of these cable locks that someone donated them, and they're like, well, I guess we'll give them away. I know we use them in raffles and things, and I bet you most of those, when people got them, guess where they went? Probably in their corner, in their trap. I mean,
well, one's keeping my shed locked in the backyard. So.
There you go. But the nice thing about this, I mean, we'll go over it a little bit, but we got a spoiler on it, so it's probably going to be something that's going to be done.
So here's the here's the guns that they said if you're an FFL and they buy this gun from you have to give them a gun lock, a shotgun, a short-barreled shotgun, a short-barreled rifle, a rifle, or any other firearm that federal law does not require be accompanied by a gun lock at the time of purchase. So basically, every damn gun you buy,
any gun you buy, any gun you buy, and what I thought was interesting, I was just telling you before we got started here. I went and watched the testimony because I wanted to get some video clips, but whatever their system is there in Utah on their legislative site. It was just horrible sound and actually feedback, and I don't have that with any other things when I grab clips. But the guy from, and I can't remember the county, but he got up and said, he introduced himself, gave his name, said, I'm from county, whatever it was. And he goes, I just want to say right now, I'm a county commissioner, and we are a proud Second Amendment sanctuary county. We will kick the feds out of this county, and we do not enjoy having our Second Amendment infringed upon. And he goes, I think I speak for 99% of the rural counties in Utah. And I thought, and he turned right to her. I explained to you, they sit side by side giving testimony in Utah in these committees. There's like this little bench with a table. the person who's sponsoring the bill sits in one seat. Everybody else comes up and sits in this other one and gives testimony. You know how fun that would be in North Dakota? I would love to be able to do that.
Oh,
hey, Gaetz, we got a little input here on we were just talking about those locks.
you see Leon's finally getting us live here?
I see that, and I said, hey, good to see Leon on. The gun lock requirement is part of the Child Safety Act, not necessarily a new thing. So that's where it comes from.
Right, but at the end of this, what I saw that, but it says, or another firearm that federal law does not require be accompanied by a gun lock. So they must have excluded some guns, but this law would have made them do it anyway. Yeah, and that was a state. And, I'll give them this. I'm a big separation of church and state. Or not church and sorry, of states' rights. I'm not separate. Yeah, you got that right, Clay. Let me get that completely. But I am very much a guy that believes in states' rights. And if states want to have that debate, let them. I mean, I think it's retarded and I think it's ridiculous, but at least it's taking place in the area it should. It's just like when they threw Roe versus Wade, like you pointed out when we were going down that road about guns and things, that abortions aren't illegal. It's just not at the federal level anymore protected, which it should have never been to begin with. It's a state issue, and that's where it belongs in that arena. Yeah. So same with most of this stuff. So that real quick, that county commissioner you were quoting there? Yes. MVE, that's right. That's right. So, why don't you go on here a little bit farther on these, what these things, the two or more things that they consider an assault weapon on? Well, I remember, right? One was a flash suppressor, of course. I got to find it. And then, of course, the detachable magazine. Yeah, so that's at the waiting period. The waiting period for purchase of an assault weapon, according to this, assault. Well, here's what she says. Assault weapon means a semi-automatic firearm with two or more firearm accessories. And then here we can go into this list of crap, which we've probably all heard before. But hey, if they want to keep bringing it up, guess what? So are we. So absolutely, it's always the same list too. Yeah. It's assault weapons are defined with a semi-automatic that can accept a magazine that holds more than 10 rounds. They're stuck on that number 10. Okay, real quick, 10 rounds before you go on, Clay. Yes. Parkland shooter, 10 rounders. 10 round magazines as ARs. Actually, one of them jammed, and that's when he threw it in the garbage. So I can tell you he wasn't using a PMag, using some piece of crap that ever came with it. And Virginia Tech, the second biggest body count ever, 10 round magazines, and his Glock is 22. All right, Baba, you may proceed. I apologize for interrupting. You sophisticate, you. Anyway, also has a pistol grip. And then the litany of other qualifying or disqualifying features would be a flash suppressor or a muzzle brake, and basically a threaded barrel. And barrel shroud. Barrel shroud, probably. I mean, I can remember the last time. Okay, we're not to that point. I got ahead of myself. No, I mean, it's always the same list. And I remember one of the legislators that was sitting on that committee, he actually asked he goes, so he says, I have a question for you. He goes, how did you arrive at the 10 days? He says, where did that number come from and why? I'm interested. She just kind of sat there and she goes, well, she said, it's just a starting point. She goes, if you want to go 2 days, I'd work with you on that, or we can go to 3 days. She goes, it's a starting point to start the discussion. And this guy's just like, okay. That's why I really wish those clips would have worked, because they were great. Clay, common sense dictates that if you wait, you'll cool off and you won't follow through on your homicidal maniac plans. You'll never think of it again. What I thought was funny, she brought that up, this common sense thing, and one of the other legislators that was sitting on the committee, he goes, well, what would stop them from using a shotgun? She just sat there like, nothing, I guess, because he says, I see most of your shotguns are not on here. He goes, so they could just go down, buy a shotgun and take care of business, right? And she goes, I assume, yeah, you could. No, you can only kill ducks with those. Oh, they're only for duck hunting, right? Using AR-15 assault rifle shotguns that have large, high-capacity magazine clips. So, okay, let's get into their what a firearm accessory means to them that would qualify for one of these two or more. Yeah, go for it. Right. Okay. Of course, we said the barrel shroud, and Clay was just talking about shotguns. like the guys who usually put the magazine extension on your shotgun. And I'm not
Tube
talking about
extension.
one that drops down. I'm talking about the tubular.
Yep.
That would make it an assault weapon. Folding or telescoping stock. Yeah, I mean, you hate to
I
have
always
people
got that one in there.
yeah,
Ugh.
you hate to have adjustable stock for somebody whose arms aren't as long as, I got freaking long ape arms that work for me great in basketball.
Shooting it comfortably and making it fit the
Yeah,
person
yeah, you
properly.
hate to do that, or
What
you get a
about that?
kid shooting responsibly and learn how to use a gun right and shorten the stock of a pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the firearm. Wow, yeah, that makes it super deadly, right?
Yeah, super deadly.
Oh, here we go. Here's even worse one: a second hand grip that can be held with the non-trigger hand. Ooh.
That's a whole
Here's one
hand.
that you and I were talking about, a thumb hole stock. Like all of a sudden the thumb hole stocks like makes it, if you ever use a thumb hole stock, it's quite possibly one of the most comfortable hand grips for shooting that I've ever put my hand in, to be honest with you.
I like thumb hole stocks.
Yeah.
Anytime I replace a stock anymore, that's usually what I put on it.
Leon said, what about his Typhoon? He got that 12 gauge Typhoon. Oh, Leon, you know that thing, man. That thing's just killing people sitting there. I've seen that.
I'll put that one up for you, Leon.
It jammed up a few times when he was out at the old high alpine range there at Axe and Lynette's, but maybe he's got it running good now. It's pretty sweet, though. I hope he does. I want to shoot it again. We got the bayonet mount, Clay. They're still going on with the bayonet mount.
By the way, so I got to say that, like I said, I watched that testimony, and that was brought up. This one legislator goes, I want to ask about the bayonet thing. And she goes, okay, why? He goes, last I looked, I haven't seen a bayonet used in any of these shootings that you guys are complaining about. So I could just tell by the way the guy was asking the question, he thought she was full of it. Anyway, he goes, so I'm trying to figure out why that would be a disqualifying feature on a gun to make it an assault weapon. She didn't have an answer for that. So what they were doing is they were just showing how stupid this was and how this is just regurgitated stuff, basically coming from the previous federal assault weapons bans and things have been passed in other states. They did a good job by making her look stupid without calling her stupid.
Yep. So, hey, evening, Darren. Good having you on, buddy. Okay.
Hey, good to see you, Trampus.
Yeah. Hey, better late than never. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So Leon said 700 rounds is running docile. All right. Awesome, man. I like to hear that.
Hey, so David brings up a good thing. He says, my single shot F-class rifle falls into this ban. That's just it. Yeah. This is just it.
Come on, David. Long range sniper rifle. Let's get real, man. Nobody needs one of those.
Nobody needs.
All right. So we're going to go on to some more stupidity here, Clay. Grenade launcher. I think you and I had this in private conversation.
Yes.
A grenade. You can buy a grenade launcher. You can't buy grenades. I mean, maybe shoot a beer can out of it or something. I don't know, but
the only way you can even get the grenade launchers, we had access to them in Colorado when we was at that Class 3 shoot. That a Class 3 licensee, and he did have them. He had the Class 3, so he could have the explosives. I mean, he had all the licenses he needed. And he had some, and it was pretty cool. But you can't buy any of those unless you have the right licensing, which I'm sorry, I'm not going to ever probably have that. I'm not going to pay what you got to pay to get it. So I'm not going to do it.
Well, if anybody's got some thermal, and Darren, he said the coyotes are hauling his backyard right now. I believe he's out Copper Ridge there. So.
Well, I'm working on it. I'm gonna, as soon as we clean Bob's trailer out, it's in there, and he said I can pop it on a gun and get it tested out for him. Hey, I'm not gonna argue.
So the happy ending to that Utah story is, Clay.
Well, the best part about this. So, wrong one. Just getting them all excited. Here's what happened. So it was heard in the Natural Resources, Agriculture, Environmental Committee on January 19th. The Senate Committee for Favorable Recommendation failed on a 6-2 vote. And I can tell you right now that the two that voted yay, imagine what party they were part of. The Democrat.
Oh.
So it was great to see that went down. Now, I imagine. Freedom. Yeah, they're all about freedom. Yeah, as long as it's their ideology. But democracy.
Sorry. All right, I'm sorry. Keep it. Go ahead.
But I imagine, I mean, like anything else, these things come out of committee and in and out of committee, even up here. As Daryl calls it, the power of tower. I like that when I heard that today on the radio in Bismarck. So just because it comes out with a fail or do not pass recommendation, it still can come to the floor. I mean, you can still bring it to the floor, but I would imagine
I'd bring it out just so people could see who's going to vote for that shit.
And I think that might happen. I don't know. So far, I've heard nothing more about it. I was kind of looking through their schedule in Utah just to see, and I saw it was listed nowhere after that. So who knows? Maybe it'll just be gone, and rightfully so. But it would be fun to bring it to the floor to show everybody who votes how.
You know what I would suggest to her if I was there? I would say take that paper and crumple it up real good, and then treat that like you guys do the Bill of Rights and the Constitution.
There you go.
And make it real soft, because if anybody doesn't know, Democrats like to treat those two documents like a modern day piece of rear end wipe.
They could have done like Pelosi did with Trump's speech, just ripped it in half.
All right, Clay, why don't we do an obscene profits time out? We come back, we're going to do something a little fun. We're going to talk about some Hollywood actors who are actually pro-gun.
All right,
let's. Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call, 701-258-6308.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right, and again, we want to thank those sponsors, Doug and the boys down there at Lauer Auto Repair. They do a great job down there on Washington Street, 309 South Washington Street, 701-258-6308. Give them a call, and trust me, he'll get you fixed up.
So yeah, and like usual, I'm always going to add this in. If you go and patronize one of our sponsors, please tell them that you heard it on Guns in the 701 and you appreciate it, that they support a show like this that promotes and supports our Second Amendment rights. Tower of Babel, Marty says there. Hey, Trav, how you doing, buddy?
Trav is here. Oh,
he's here. Nice. All right. Gang's all here. Appreciate that. All right. So you got any comments you want to hit on here, Clay, before we get into this?
So yeah, let's see. Corey you should bring up that video of the prairie dog, Clay. I think everyone get a kick out of that. Which one? We have a few. Maybe the one that you did. I don't know. Rips in half and preaches up.
There's a few of them. I got a lot in my shirt pocket for that yet too. So rips it in half and preaches about what?
Seemed like an interesting committee to hear that bill. It was, Brian. It was actually fun to watch. I didn't actually get through it all, but I got through the good parts, and I could tell where it was going. And I really enjoyed watching that. I do that all the time with the stuff at up in Bismarck too. Now that they put that system in, it's kind of great.
Hey, there, Darren wants to be a sponsor of the show. I'll give you a call tomorrow, buddy. No problem. I appreciate that.
We can make that happen. Absolutely. We welcome more sponsors.
Darren's a realtor, so I guess look forward to that coming up next week.
All right.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
So get your car fixed. You get some blinds. Well, first you can find the realtor, go buy the property, then get the boys down there, put some blinds in, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
All right. So, Corey, hey, Kersplat. Okay. I think that was the one you did, wasn't it, Jamie?
Oh, man. They usually go splat when I get them with that Blitz King. So,
Travis.
After, are you sure you're not now? I'm kidding, buddy.
Oh my goodness. He says if it's the one you posted today. So anyway.
Okay. Well,
Maybe when we have a little break here, maybe I'll
yeah.
try
All
to
right,
pull
let's
that
get
up.
into this. So usually
All
these Hollywood people are
Commies.
yeah. I mean, so here's what I'm gonna do, Clay. I'm gonna say the people, we got a list of them here, and they kind of got a little about their what they consider their Second Amendment bona fides.
Yep.
And and if you know the actor, which the number one on the list here, I gotta say something after this. I mean, I appreciate what he says here, but so number one on the list, and I got this from Breitbart.
Yep. That's the same one.
So number one on the list, it was they back when they were married, I guess. Brad Pitt and Angie Jolie.
Yes.
And Pitt says, America is a country founded on guns, which I 100% agree with. We are, and then after this Aurora shooting, they were talking to him again. Guns are in our DNA. It's very strange, but I feel better having a gun. I really do. I don't feel safe. I don't feel the house is completely safe if I don't have one somewhere. That's my thinking, right or wrong. All right. And I've heard Angelina Jolie say things like, if you ever seen Tomb Raider, she said she owns multiple guns exactly like the kind that she used in Tomb Raider. So she's using the kind that the Democrats don't like,
Oh, yeah.
But here's the deal. Brad Pitt, man, dude, you vote for every Democrat that comes under your beak. So, I mean, if you truly are Second Amendment, you're cutting your own throat, man.
Absolutely. If you're voting Democrat today, you are.
He thinks George Clooney should be president. I've heard him say it on interviews that George Clooney would want to take your guns right away. Then, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. I got to say, when we was down at the 75th anniversary of the rally, we had a booth set up down there, and I got to say, I went down to Jesse James's booth because he was working with us on a deal there.
Yep.
He had those guns there. He built for them. They were pretty cool.
I remember you told me that. Yeah,
I mean,
I watched
those were awesome.
Yeah, man. Chris Pratt is pro gun. He's awesome. He's Chris Pratt stands out.
Who's that?
Chris Pratt? Oh man, he was like in the last Jurassic Park. He kind of almost looks like a Rip from Yellowstone. He's kind of a bigger dude, and yeah,
I'm sure that don't surprise Vance. I don't know who that is.
He goes coyote hunting in Wyoming, and he doesn't really own land there, but he said he just goes and knocks on people's doors, and they're like, "Yeah, go call him, man. I don't care."
Okay.
All right, so let's go on to number 2 here. This one, Clay, I know you know this guy, right?
Oh, I know who this is. Yes.
Okay, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn, man.
Guys, I got to put this up. Eric says I hear how Baldwin likes guns and he can't hit targets. I just that one.
Yeah, well, he can hit, man. He just hit the wrong target.
It used to be, Ted Kennedy's car has killed more guns than killed
Still
more people
has.
than my guns. Well, now it's going to be Alec Baldwin's gun has killed more people than my gun.
Oh, for sure. All right, so we got Vince Vaughn, and I like
what he said.
Yeah. He's freaking awesome right here. I support people having a gun in public, full stop, not just in your home. That's what he told GQ, and I guarantee these GQ freaking soy boys were shitting their drawers.
They were probably like,
said that.
Oh, no.
We don't have the right to bear arms because of burglars. We have the right to bear arms to resist the supreme power of corruption and abusive government. It's not about duck hunting. Oh, God, I love that.
That had
about
the ability.
I got that shirt even says that. Remember, Clay? Second
Yes,
Amendment
you do.
about duck hunting. It's the same reason we have freedom of speech. Vince, I couldn't say that better myself. That is awesome, man.
I mean, you listen to him when he said that, and when he made that, it's like, yes, there's a guy that gets it. And to be from Hollywood, that is rare. It really is today.
Yep.
And he's right. He's absolutely right. He knows what the intent of the 27 words are.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it ain't about duck hunting. Is just a nice little side gig you get from owning guns, man. It's just like shooting deer.
Yeah, just with salt deer.
Yeah, even if they have Kevlar vest, I'm gonna shoot them in the head.
Well, we got a round for that now, but anyway.
yeah, we do. All right, number 3. This guy's been in the news lately.
Let's back up quick. I want to back up quick, like on Vince Vaughn, because he also said he talked about the mass shootings that were going on. Yeah, he goes, here's his quote: "They've only happened in places that don't allow guns."
Sweet.
Because these people are sick in the head and they're going to kill innocent people. They're looking to slaughter defenseless people. That's exactly right. I mean, And right now, you look at anything that's been happening now, California. Look what's going on out there. We got 2 of them here in the last month,
Hey, you missed
and
part
they
of that.
got.
I actually just read that. You missed a good part of that.
Oh, go ahead, take it.
Okay, so he
I already-
says in all of our schools, it's illegal to have guns on campus. So again and again, these guys go and shoot up these effing schools because they know there are no guns there.
There you go. I mean, it's pretty
Ooh.
simple, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, love it. All right, Vince Vaughn. There's no chinks on his armor. He's actually he should be a number 1 on the list here.
I
So
think
number
so,
3,
yeah.
this guy's been in the news lately.
Mhm.
I
He's not
I
doing
didn't
so
know he
good.
was this pro gun actually, but Jeremy Renner,
Oh,
he's been in a lot of action. He's kind of in that thing on Netflix, the mayor of something town, and he was like the bad guy in SWAT.
okay.
But so yeah, if you didn't know what I'm talking about, he's just in the news. He was like clearing his driveway off with some big tractor or something in California, and it rolled over him down there, cut his leg off. But I guess
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
that was
which
him,
sucks.
huh?
Now that I seen
Damn.
him on here, I'm like, damn man, we got a good guy in Stevens, but yeah, kill boxes. You're right, Leon. That's what gun-free zones are. They are kill boxes.
Yep, they are.
All right, so
Travis.
Jeremy Renner, his quote here: "Taking guns from people is no answer. I own guns and want to keep it that way, but guns don't kill people. People kill people. Blaming movies or video games is no actionable solution." The actor also added that he believes the solution to preventing most gun violence begins in our homes, with better education on gun use from parents. Sorry, I didn't read that right, but yeah,
No,
okay. I can't, not as hardcore as Vince, but I mean, I'm not going to disagree with him. It sounds pretty solid to me right there, right?
and it's absolutely correct. And you and I have talked about that before on the show.
Many
that
times.
Part of the problem we have in this, we got way too many single parent homes. You know, there's not a man and a woman in there keeping the balance. I mean, that is
Mhm.
how God created us. That's how He created the family, and I really don't care who disagrees with that.
Yeah.
And then when you've got that happening, the parents probably working twice as hard. They're not keeping tabs on their child, unfortunately, because they got to work. They got to put food on the table and a roof over their head.
Yeah.
And when you have that moral decline happening, and it's been happening now for decades, guess what's going to happen? They've removed all morality. They removed God. They removed everything from the public school indoctrination camps. And look where we're at now. I mean, and it does come down to parents. Look up behind me. Them are loaded guys. I really don't care who thinks that's wrong. They're ready to rock and roll. You walk through my door, you're in trouble.
Or in Clay's case, country rock.
Yeah. Country rock.
Yeah. Hey, Leon, he got Hawkeye and Mayor of Kingstown. That's the one I was thinking of. They might work an accident into the screenplay on that one,
But my kids have grown up like this since they were little. And I taught them at a very young age that they had to ask me for permission. It wasn't anything they were curious about. We took them out and looked at them.
Mhm.
I mean, my kids would come downstairs here and, Dad, what's that? No, that's a firearm. Well, which one is it? And we talked about them, and I showed them how it worked. And we had the gun safety courses very, very young. And now, my goodness, well, you've seen how my youngest can handle pistols. Got video, we got dinged on YouTube because of it, but I mean, he handles a pistol probably better than most adults.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem. In fact, I've even overheard my kids when their friends come are like, "You don't touch Dad's guns. If you do, you're going to get your butt kicked and probably never be allowed back here."
Hey, I mean, that's what I was taught when I was a kid. We could sit and look at them, but you didn't dare reach in there.
And I've taught a lot of their friends when they come out. I take the curiosity away. We sit down and we go over them. We go over the safety precautions. I make them wear eyes and ears. I make them do everything I was taught.
Mhm.
And I didn't grow up with guns in my house. That happened later. I was introduced by a good friend of mine. His dad was the first one took me and shot pistol with me. So yes, it starts in the home is what my whole point of this is. It starts in the home. And I can really I'll appreciate that because that's how it started for me, really.
Well, I'm happy to say I grew up. I can't remember a time in my life when there wasn't guns in any house I was in. So, and shocking to any liberal and leftist, I haven't, buddy.
Oh, imagine that. These haven't done nothing. They're
I'm
just
already
sitting
an
there.
unloaded gun as a stick. I don't protect my yeah. People who protect their houses with sticks get shot. So
And yeah, Keith, I know your kids can shoot. What's Travis saying here? You know,
No.
oh my goodness, I had
Wheels
to
are
put it
coming
up.
off.
I think you're right, Eric. Well, your dad's the one that took me out with your brother, and that's what introduced me to handguns. And yeah, I think you were born with a gun in one hand, probably a fishing rod in the other, and you probably were wearing camel too.
Yeah,
So,
good. That's the way to do it.
Travis, oh boy. Fat All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
All right,
But-
so we're going number 4. Trav's going to lick some faces on some chubby chicks here.
oh my goodness.
Number 4. I think we all know this guy.
Yeah.
He's in rough shape right now, actually. Bruce Willis.
Actually,
Bruce Willis, and I've heard Bruce say a lot of things. So yeah,
he's he's been pretty conservative on a lot of things. Oh, Travis is checking out. We'll see you. Good night, Travis.
see if the flamethrower. So yeah, what Bruce's comment here is, I think that you can't start to pick apart anything out of the Bill of Rights without thinking it's all going to become undone. If you think taking out or change one law, then why wouldn't they take out? Man, he's got this kind of hard. Then why wouldn't they take all your rights away from you? Yeah, I mean that's right. I mean, it's going to do it with one, they're going to do it. I mean, I screwed it up.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Bruce.
We're seeing it right now. I mean, they've been after the Second Amendment. I mean, this has been going on for decades, and we kept telling the other side they're coming after the First. I mean, we got 5 protections in the First Amendment. Not just freedom of speech and religion. There's 3 others, guys. And I can tell you right now, if you lose petition and assembly and press, if you lose any of them in the First Amendment, then we're in trouble. And they're working on it. We already saw it. People didn't think about it. And yes, they're private companies. I think you're going to see that changing. But when you had Twitter, Facebook, and all the other ones literally censoring free speech, that was an infringement. You're seeing it happen. You see it already in the media. We don't have the freedom of press because the media they're not with us anymore. They're just a propaganda arm of the federal government mostly. Yep. We're losing them. They tried to do it with religion. They're trying to force everything they can on the religious organizations if they're Christian. If you're anything else, it's fine. You can do what you want. But they're trying to force the Christian religion to basically accept everything that we don't believe in. Yeah, it's happening, guys, right? And the only thing that keeps it from going full bore right now is the fact that there's a lot of us with firearms using our Second Amendment.
And it's getting bigger.
Yeah, I think it's getting bigger.
Number 5, I mean, I had a hunch about this guy, but and this confirmed it. I mean, you wouldn't think by looking at it. Even his comments here, it's kind of shocking to me.
You look at the guy.
Yeah, David Spade. Joe Dirt. Yeah. So he said when we were 8, 10, and 12, my mom was really an on-the-go 70s woman. My dad scrammed, so I guess dad left him, I guess. So when you're a single mom in Arizona, we all had guns because we're from Arizona. So she would take us on the way back to work to the end of the desert, and I had a rifle, Andy had a pistol, Brian had a shotgun. We just walk, shoot cactus, shoot birds, shoot roadrunners, kill rattlesnakes. I mean, he's triggering the PETA gang too, and he's going on with that. And he donated $100,000. I remember this to the Phoenix Police Department, 2008, and helped them to buy. They bought them all brand new AR-15s or patrol rifles.
Wow, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I would have never guessed David Spade was a good hardcore Second Amendment
Joe
guy,
Dirt. Okay, so the next guy here.
This guy.
Okay, now this guy, I like this guy. I love his voice. He was a Conan the Barbarian, and no, I'm not talking about Schwarzenegger.
No, Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of okay. I'm just going to read what he got here. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, Thulsa Doom from
what a career.
Yeah, guy's awesome. This is CNN. I don't like that. He actually said they stole his voice for that, but
really? Okay.
Yeah. So it says he's a member of the NRA, and I actually did just recently again hear that within the last week or so. I think it was his birthday, and somebody said that. So, okay, here's where I'm kind of wishy-washy on him. Here's what he says. When it comes to right-wing politics of the NRA, I don't get into that. I just believe in my right to have a gun in my house. So, Clay, right?
It's kind of like when Bush was an NRA member and then he got rid of his membership. Did he ever really believe? I doubt it. I mean, that's
I
why
mean, I'm going to say he's a weak believer.
I'd
He'll
say
fold. He'll fold is what he'll say.
I think he would. I think he would accept certain things that you and I never would and shouldn't. None of us should.
So I'm going to break it down a little more for you. If it comes to the right-wing politics, the NRA, he doesn't get into that. Well, right-wing politics is what's preserving your Second Amendment right. Believe that shit or not, that is true. That is true.
Not just the Second Amendment, guys. Us right-wingers that they have labeled us as. MVEs. We are just constitutionalists. We believe in what the Constitution says. It's not complicated. It was written to be understood by common men, common women. You shouldn't need to be a lawyer. That's why you don't interpretate the Constitution. You interpretate laws according to it and decide whether they follow it. And this is the problem we've had for decades. The Constitution is who the right wingers are, and if it wasn't for us, everybody'd be walking a different path today.
Well, and on top of that, read Leon's comment here because I agree with that.
That's why I put it up
right
there.
On the money.
Another reason masculinity is so important. Iron sharpens iron. You need that father figure to teach you these things, and you're absolutely right. And I see it every day. I'm glad that some of my son's friends that come out and visit, they come from a home where the parents are divorced. Trust me, they come out here and they want to come out here, and I don't know why, because I work them pretty hard. But it's like they need that father figure.
Hey man, my friends like that in high school and junior high too.
Yeah, I mean, we're out there. We work in the corral, or like Braden comes out. Hey, Braden, if you're listening, I appreciate you coming out all the time. And I mean, he's a hell of a hand. He helps us with feed. He helps us with bins. And then he has fun. They ride 4-wheelers and motorcycles and have a blast. They love it out here and shoot guns.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we can do that, because every young man needs that in his life. He's got to be a boy and then become a man. That's just the way it is.
It's fun. I mean, if you're trying to get somebody, if you take a first time shooter out, don't go out and shove your 7mm mag on. Hey, take this for your 12.
No.
Take a 22 or something, and get, honestly, take some water jugs and shoot them, because there's nothing fun or some first time shooter I've saw. You get a reactive target like that. I mean, hey, trust me. You watch any videos, I'll shoot jugs all day because I get a freaking charge out of that. I love seeing that things come apart. But all right, so another thing James Earl Jones said here, which I just believe my right to have a gun in my house. Well, I believe in that too, James, but it's right to keep and bear arms, and that's bear arms outside of your home, not just in your home. So I love you, man. You're a great actor. I hope you voted for Trump. I don't know. I'm doubting it, but all right, let's go on to the next one. Here we got. I seen in the comments a couple. Hey man, Kurt Russell should be on this list. He's not on it. I don't know why they don't have him on here, but 100% Kurt Russell's.
I think this was done.
It is older, but yeah. All right, so number 7, we got Miranda Lambert, and she's I'm kind of wishy-washy on her deal here too, but I mean, I'm glad she said it. I mean, people know Miranda Lambert. I see Miranda Lambert in concert ever since her and Blake divorced. She looks smoking hot now. But anyway, okay. So what she says is, I don't have a stance on anything except what I was taught from day one: gun safety. But I live by myself now, so yeah, I have a pistol. Are you crazy? Okay, I'm glad you have a pistol.
Yeah. Doesn't she sing a song about that? No.
Yeah, no, actually that song. And my wife hates it when I say this when it's on, because at the end the gunshot goes off, because she talks about having a shotgun, but when you hear the racking of the pump, and it's like a 9mm casing that bounces, the sound of that hitting the ground. I said, that's not a shotgun hull. But
no.
Sometimes I get stupid with practicality, and that's when. So this guy too here, I mean, all right, and an old friend of ours, Dan Devane, he used to be a police officer.
Yes,
hates this guy, Ice-T.
That's right, I remember that now.
Rapper, yeah, I mean, he got all over my ass. Dan, if you listen to this or the podcast, I'm sorry.
That's right, I forgot about that.
So what Ice-T says is, it's legal in the United States. It's part of our Constitution. The right to bear arms is because the last form of defense against tyranny, not to hunt, is to protect yourself from the police. All right, so there's a couple things in there, Clayton. I know you know what I'm going to get on. I'm going to let you go ahead and have at it first.
Sorry, I was looking at the computer.
Okay, I'll
I
do
wasn't.
it. So
I have to say, I wasn't listening.
okay, so he says it's in the Constitution. It's your right. The right to bear arms is because it's the last form of defense against tyranny, which you and I will definitely both agree on. Not to hunt, for sure. And he says it's to protect yourself from the police. I mean, kind of, sort of.
It is, yeah. I mean, so yes. I mean, and no. I don't think we'd be saying that. We could both say it. You could say protect yourself from the police, and he could. But I mean, I bet it has two different meanings.
Right.
I'm sure his meaning is black people being protecting themselves from police.
Yeah, and DD told me, Daniel Devane, that's the guy I'm talking about. He was a police officer in, I want to say Stockton,
yeah,
right? Or Sacramento.
Somewhere, yeah, I think it was Sacramento.
Yeah,
it was Sacramento.
Then he was like, Ice-T was like pretty much saying we should just go out and kill police all day or something. But I know later on after this, he said he'll give up his guns and everybody else does. Well, I don't care if everybody else gives up their guns. I don't want to give mine up either. So
no,
you can give.
I always hear that too. Well, I'll give mine up whenever. No, I'm never giving mine up.
Yeah.
So if everybody else gives theirs up, I guess I'll be king because I'll have them all, and I guarantee you I'm going to use them.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, that's just a stupid statement. I always hate that statement.
So I would add to Ice-T. I also did see him on a news thing once after he said this, that, it was after some shooting that, you got to have laws because, you can't just get crazy and have anything you want. And I was like, okay. Okay, so we might go over this gal quick because I've never even heard of her. Number 9, Amber Heard. So what Amber says, okay, go on, Clay.
Wasn't she the guy that just went through
she the guy?
Or maybe she is. Isn't that where her and Johnny
Don't assume her gender, sir.
Yeah, just on her. Anyway, but wasn't she the one that was in Johnny Depp and they had that great big lawsuit here recently?
Oh, yeah. I think
that's where I know I don't know who it is, but I just think that's
I think you're right. So, defecated on his bed for him. And
yeah, so she's kind of a crazy bitch, but
you got that song handy?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what Amber Heard says. Johnny Depp claims he's pro-gun too, but I think he gave him up when he started dating some other hot guy. Yeah, exactly. She pooped the bed. Yeah, that's right, Mark Dibble. So she says, I'm a good shot and I love guns. I own several. I don't have children in the house, so I sleep with my gun in a place that's close enough that if I needed to protect myself, I could. It's not in the bed with me though. It's in a safe location. I'm fully trained and I'm an active member of a gun club. I'm definitely pro-gun. Heard's preferred weapon, a .357 Magnum. Well, my gun's in a safe place and I sleep too, right freaking next to me on the nightstand.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so whatever. She sounds, she's crazy, but I'll give her this much. She sounds, for a female Hollywood actress, sounds fairly pro-Second Amendment, right?
Corey says she's bat crap crazy, but that sounds like your kind of woman, though.
Yeah.
See if this will work. There it is. Is that coming through? I think I got it.
Yeah, it is. Oh. Hurricane Katrina. All right.
Hurricane Katrina. Yeah. All right. All right.
So obviously this show's going to go at least an hour and 20 tonight, Clay.
I think it is. We probably should.
So let's do another profit time out here before we. Yes. So we're going on to next. We're going on to number 10. So all right, let's do it. Right. Corey, Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give him a call, 701-258-6308.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right. Yeah, like I said, I can't say it enough. Thanks to our sponsors. If you go in there and you talk to Doug, or if you call up Wyatt, let them know that you heard it here, because I'm telling you, we can't do it without great sponsors like that. So, all right.
I agree. I didn't laugh because I'm laughing at some comments here.
Well, Jean's got a good one. Lorena Bobbitt, she's pro knife. Maybe we get her out here to work calves, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Dougie keeps her gun in the toilet and poops in the bed. Wow. We started something here, didn't we?
Yeah, Marty said he doesn't mind wet sheets, but he draws the line at poop.
Wow. All righty.
Oh, Leon said, "Oh, hell no, no." Yeah, I got.
He's gonna get red flagged.
Red flagger. All right. So after okay, so hey, like I said, we're probably going to go longer tonight than usual, right? Clayton, hanging on that way, but
I think you're going to do this guy next, right?
Yeah, baby. And hey, I mean, I tell you what, if you guys are listening and stuff like this bores you, let us know. I'm getting a kick out of this actually, but
yeah, go.
Okay, so number 10, Clay just held it up. Magnum PI, aka Mr. Tom Selleck, NRA member, NRA board member, great guy. Many good shows. I mean, he battled Rosie O'Donnell and outdoorsman, hunter. I mean, NRA. What more can you ask? He's on the board there. He doesn't really have a quote here, but it says the NRA teamed up with Nevada's Cabela's in 2009 to display the Blue Blood Star collection in a small exhibit, a collection that includes the Shiloh Sharps, number 3 rifle from Quigley Down Under.
That's right. I remember that when they did that down there in Nevada.
Yeah.
I wasn't part of that, but we were invited to come down. I just couldn't make it. That would have been kind of good. Cabela's put this whole thing on, and yeah, it was great. They had
MVEs there, huh?
Yeah, a bunch of them. And I can tell you this, the Shiloh Sharps, there's one in the NRA Museum, which is awesome. It's there. Of course, he's got one. I forget how many were made. I'd have to look it up again. It was either 3 or 5 of them that he had made. And he had them made to the exact specs so that he could film the movies. He's very, very particular about that. It's just like Monty Walsh. Now, you've probably seen the picture where I'm holding both of those pistols he used in there. That was pretty cool because they had just come into the museum and we knew the curators and got to go in there. But Tom Selleck, there's no doubt, is pro-gun. I always figured he would run for NRA president. And at the time he said he had other projects going on. Well, that's when shortly after Blue Bloods, the announcement came out. So that was one of the projects.
Yeah, I'd rather have him on a leftist TV show and getting our message out. Anyways,
yeah, but
so an interesting thing about that Quigley rifle, Clay,
go for it.
If you ever watch Hollywood Weapons on Outdoor, in fact, I was just watching it tonight. Yeah. He was on there, and they did that. And Terry Shepard, he used to be I think he was a SEAL, and then he was in like some other special forces thing. He's one of the hosts on there. He said that they actually, because in Quigley, if you remember, he went through 2 guys, right, on a long-range shot, and he killed 2 guys. And he said, Terry Shepard actually told him, he said, the special forces guys actually call out, you get 2 with 1 as a Quigley.
Oh, really?
And Selleck was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, wow, that's awesome, man.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, if you ever shoot like 2 coyotes with 1 bullet, you can say you got a Quigley.
I got a Quigley, yeah. They always do that Quigley shoot out west here in North Dakota. I think that'd be fun to go to. If I remember right, they do it on a range over there by Oldie's, out there by Buffalo Gap.
Yeah.
I should go to that just to go see it.
Yeah, there you go. You read Gene's comment there.
I did. Never said I couldn't use one. Just said I had no use for one. The guys I've never seen. I'm sure Eric Newman has never seen Quigley Down Under. We really got to bring Eric up to speed on movies, but I think he liked that one. Oh,
Quigley's good, man. I gotta admit, I never saw it when it first came out. I was late to the game on that, but it's
okay.
Quigley's pretty good. I did enjoy
I
that. So
I enjoy all them. Monty Walsh,
all right, so
Quigley, yeah.
I saw this guy's name come up in the comments too. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
get Gary
I
Sinise.
wondered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, big advocate for veterans, and obviously everybody knows him from
Well, yeah.
Forrest Gump.
And I do have I'll tell you what, I found a clip of him when he
Okay.
visited with
Okay.
Larry King. So why don't we play that?
Okay.
Because I thought he made some great comments on there.
All right, let's hear it.
Things he said there. I mean, he's obviously pro Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And like so many people don't understand, machine guns are not illegal in this country.
Right. Hard as
They're
hell
just
to get and very
regulated.
expensive.
Yes, I mean I know a lot of Class 3 dealers that have them, and I've shot several of them. So
Mhm.
they're not illegally, but they are heavily regulated, and you have to have the proper licensing. You have to give your left nut, probably give your firstborn. I mean, you gotta. They're not just readily available. So, but overall, I thought the things he brought up, especially to Larry King, because King was at that time insinuating, kind of like
Well, use
Bill
Todd's
O'Reilly
line.
did. What's that?
He used Todd's line. Cain killed Abel with a rock.
He used that, but
Salt
he
rock.
talked about the armaments, just like Bill O'Reilly when he
Yeah.
called them heavy guns. Well, they don't even know what they're talking about. Kind of like Joe Biden thinks we're still using.
Well, he said 10,
F-15s,
12
but-
people. I got multiple things I can bring up where 10 plus people or 10 to 13, 14 were killed with shotguns, and
Yes.
so
Yep, and I keep saying that. As Eric just brought up, he said his wife got a Quigley. She shot had a 170 muley buck and a muley doe all in one shot. She did. Stay with doe. You better watch out for Charity. She'll snipe you.
that's awesome. All right, so that was pretty sweet, Gary. I didn't even know he was that pro second. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
He's right. It's evil's around. It's always around, and people alter guns. I mean,
Wow.
there's high school kids down in Texas and all around. They're printing Glock switches. If you don't know what a Glock, that's a slang term for it. Goes on the back of a Glock on the slide, and it turns that baby into full auto handgun. So. And they print them. It's out there. That genie's not going back in the box.
No, it's not.
Use Glock away now. They'd love to.
And I know they're trying to curb all this. It's not going to happen.
No.
In this day and age with computers and 3D printers and the things that are available, guess what? Like you said, that genie's out of the bottle. It's not going back in. And it's going to be harder and harder and harder for them to even do anything about it. That's why they're going after these unserialized. When you see some of the new changes on the B8, we talked about the new 4473, unserialized firearms.
That's
what that's all
going
about.
to do something. I'm laughing because it's such a joke. Like it is. It's because the serial number's off. It's gonna.
Yeah, privately made firearm. It's they love their acronym.
Yeah.
So
you freaking
PMF. Yes.
Okay. So I got a text from Marty. I was laughing at. I got you now, Marty. Oh, long story. I'll tell you about it off air, Clay. But
Sounds good.
Guy, old friend of our families, but.
And Leon, he had to boogie out. He had to go take care of some stuff. So
all right, man. Leon, appreciate you. Hope you finished listening up on the podcast. We're good. We
Mark,
got a while to go.
Up there, he's got Lieutenant Dan knows what's up.
Yeah, he does.
Great show.
Yeah.
All right. So the next though, you should bring this guy in because this one shocked me actually, and I don't.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I did hear a little something about him a while ago and a long time ago, and I kind of had a suspicion he was, but. Musician Eric Clapton. The interview I was thinking of, he had I don't know, it was Rolling Stone or something. They were shocked because he said he had this huge gun collection. They're like, what? But yeah. Okay, right here it even says on your report he has a massive gun collection. That's what he said. He said, I find shooting a much more social pastime than fishing. Shooting with groups of people up and down the country has taught me a lot about how to get along with my fellow human beings. Hey, I feel the same way, man. I'm shooting with all my buddies. That's one of the happiest things I can do in life. I love doing that.
It's like how many times have I said this? If we were the people that the other side says we are, what do you think we'd actually do?
Yeah.
But we're not. It's a sport. Yes, it's the Second Amendment. It is our right, and I practice my rights. But I also enjoy it. So I go shooting. I've got my steel targets out here. I even got my presidential one out here. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I do.
And we have some fun. You take kids out. We're talking about kids. They love a reactionary target, whether it's tannerite or jugs or steel. Hearing that steel, it's a lot of fun, and it is fellowship. It really is with your buddies, your friends, your wife. Anybody can go out and learn how to do it. To me, it's one of the most enjoyable things you can do, whether you're hunting, shooting targets, or shooting at prairie dogs. It's just a bunch of fun.
And I don't remember which of the founders said it, but he said games with balls and sticks. I mean, they're hard on the body and you injure it, and shooting sports that you train the mind and the eye. And
Right. Yeah, it's a skill.
yeah,
Think about it.
yeah,
It's fun, but it's a skill, and it's a skill that everybody can be taught. Not everybody's a great athlete, but anybody can be taught to shoot if they listen.
right. And it's a life skill. I mean, you can do.
And you can use it forever.
Yeah.
In fact,
If you ever,
I would contend the older you get, you probably better become a better shot, because you're probably gonna have to take longer shots because you can't get out there and hustle like you
right,
do.
right.
Probably Eric Newman, his dad's an exception. I mean, at his age, he's out there elk hunting in a slim butte. So
Yeah, my dad's
my hat's
pretty-
off to him.
Yeah, so all right, we got the comments. We got a few more. Brian says that's how he protects his guitar collection.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, Brian. We got another guy who's protecting guitars right up next. So we got 3 of these guys left, and then we're gonna hit on one more thing, and then we're gonna have the happy ending. But my mom says, Smith & Wesson. She's got a sweet little Smith & Wesson pistol. Sleeps with that baby under the pillow. That's perfect.
That's the place to do it.
All right, so speaking of guitar, guys, here this one did actually shock me, Clay.
I had actually heard about this, and this just confirmed it when we were looking at these articles.
Okay. So Joe Perry, Aerosmith guitarist. I know Steven Tyler has been seen at the SHOT Show before. So,
no. And did you know them two? They don't really get along that great, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, really? Okay, no, I didn't.
They don't even travel together, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah. So here's what Joe Perry says about guns and the Second Amendment. I have always been fascinated with guns. Me too. I grew up in America, so granted, it is part of our heritage and it's written into the laws of how this country is run. I've been fascinated with all kinds of weapons my whole life. And as I have been able to afford to acquire pieces here and there, I started to collect. It is definitely a difficult issue, he said, talking about gun control. And the bottom line is the Constitution is what it is, and I stand by everything that's in it. Right now, some of these statistics show that some of the safest places in the country are places where law-abiding citizens are allowed to have firearms and crime rates are low. It's right where we live, actually. It's a great example of it. Joe Perry's right on the money. I don't nobody listening likes what's happened when these mass shootings happen, but like Leon said earlier, we're in a kill box. Yeah, where's Uncle Ted? I mean, these defenseless places are kill boxes, but it's our right. I love that right. I wouldn't give that right up for nothing. I mean, it's
gun-free zones are kill boxes, and they always will be. Look at New York City. It's gun-free, supposedly. It's a gun-free zone. Yeah, that's working out great. Plus, now they tell their cops don't do nothing. I mean, if you go look at where the problems are, guys, this ain't a gun problem. This is a Democrat-run problem.
Oh, yeah.
California, Chicago, L.A., New York City. I can go on, and the problems you're starting to see are all in areas that are run by Democrats with Democrat leftist ideology on the Second Amendment. They want to pack you in an urban center, get rid of your guns, tell you here, do it this way, live your life, and we'll take care of you. It won't be great, but we'll take care of you. We'll give you 3 squares and a roof. And that's what they're going for.
Well, that's where you belong. You stay in the city, you scumbag human, because otherwise you're infringing on the animals' property.
Oh yeah, and you're putting out all that plant food too. That CO2.
Yeah. Oh, Gordy says I'm a big fan of Eric Clapton, and now I'm a bigger fan. Eric Clapton and Van Morrison wrote and played a song during COVID called "This Has Got to Stop." Awesome! I didn't know that. That's awesome. Let's go
have to look at that one.
Yeah.
It's all right. Here we go. Eric, absolutely right. It's also a heart problem. It's meaning that it's a morality problem. People
are just evil bastards around, in my opinion. There's
evil people that do evil things, and no matter what, they're going to do them.
Yeah, Clay and I are going to probably hit on that a little bit with Todd on Friday in our 840 segment. So number 14 here, Clay's favorite sport of all time, basketball player, Charles Barkley.
I had no clue. I was kind of shocked.
Charles Barkley. It's, I mean, I'm going to put him kind of in the category here with James Earl Jones, but I'll read what his comment is. And Barkley he's a, you know, he told Bob Costas that he's carried a gun in his car ever since he turned 21. He says, I just feel safer with it because we have jocks that get robbed all the time, which is true. These guys get robbed. They get freaking carjacked leaving the practice parking lots of the stadiums and whatnot. Road rage and things like that. I feel a sense of peace when I have it with me. You know what? I couldn't agree with the guy more. So do I.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do I. He's 100%. All right, I take it back. Maybe I don't put him in there with James Earl Jones. He sounds a little more. I ain't saying he's Ted Nugent, but he sounds better.
Whoops, I'm sorry. I found that song.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's just get on to 15 here, Clay, and then we're going to get on to one of our last topics
and
here.
We all know this guy.
Oh, the one you just played? Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
I mean, bullets will change directions coming at that guy, I promise you.
Yeah, the dude just like on Kennedy in 1963. They'll stop, go through, and then move along.
This way and that way, except they won't hit Chuck, they'll bounce up.
Yeah,
so, obviously that was, if you're the podcast, Clay held up a picture of Chuck Norris.
I keep forgetting about that. We have a podcast, and they can't see what we're doing.
Yeah, I actually talked to Chuck Norris on the radio once. He was on a local.
Really?
Yeah. And then I called in. Of course, I had to ask him about guns, you know, and Chuck's might not be perfectly on what he said, but he said, you know, thanks for the call, Jamie. Good talking to you. I don't hunt, but I own tons of guns. And he goes, if anybody tries to get in, they're gonna play hell trying to get my guns from me and my ranch here in Texas. So. You know, the Walker, Texas Ranger came through for me on that. And I prefer the Walker, Texas Ranger from the movie, not the TV series. So,
yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the series either. I really wasn't.
Ooh, hey, Clay, did you see his comments here? I
did.
Okay.
I knew this.
Once you read them, what Chuck said here about our former leader.
He blasted President Obama's gun control focused responses after the church deal in South Carolina. But he says, when will Obama and other progressives learn that increasing government gun control and legislation won't keep them out of the hands of bad guys? They will further disarm honest, good Americans who need that protection against murderous thugs like the parasite who walked into the Emmanuel AME church. I mean, he's absolutely right. Then he goes on, he says, imagine once again if just one of those Christians who held a Bible in their hand at the AME church also packed a pistol via a legal concealed weapons permit. He added, souls could have been saved. And we've seen that. We've seen it in Texas. We've seen it how many times? A good guy. Well, our happy endings. What's that always about?
Yeah, that's coming up.
A good guy with a gun
took
care of a bad guy. But they left out something here.
I prefer to say he took care of a piece of shit, but
that's right.
It's getting late in the show, so I'm getting loose.
They left out the part where Chuck Norris, I don't know if anyone remembers this, he did a big ad campaign with the NRA.
I do. I remember that. Damn right.
And I mean, he does stand beside the Second Amendment to the core. I don't even question Chuck Norris's commitment to the Second Amendment as it's written. So, again, Chuck Norris is cool anyway, and he just gets better.
Yeah. Mark says Chuck Norris turns gun-free zones into free gun zones. Yeah, baby. Love it.
I think I have that up
I
there.
I agree with Van. Van says I carry in church and have for years. I do too, Van.
I do too.
I don't.
It's the safest building as long as I'm in there.
Yeah.
I carry to church every Sunday. I
got a hunch I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not either.
All right, Clayton.
So quick thing we need to go into before we go, and we can cover this one fast, I think. It's a very short bill, and it's our man. It's Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't heard.
Yeah, baby.
Gaetz introduced HR 374, the Abolished the ATF Act. That was on Tuesday morning in response to the ruling telling Fox News Digital it was the final straw.
Funny.
I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, man, the more he does, the more I like him. He did put a press release out talking about it on his website. Went and found that. But I'm going to bring the bill up. Now, this is how all bills should look like this. One page, one paragraph.
Yeah,
I mean, it
not
says here,
4,000.
a bill to abolish the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. The act may be cited as the Abolished the ATF Act. Section 2, abolishment of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is hereby abolished. Done. Now that's a bill.
Yeah. So it gets better than that, Clay. I don't know if you heard him say this, but it gets even better. It gets even better. So he says on top of that sweet bill, I love that. Ooh. He says the continued existence of the ATF is increasingly unwarranted based on the actions they're taking to convert otherwise law-abiding people into felons. That's a fact. I added that part.
Yes.
My bill would abolish ATF. If that doesn't work, we're going to try and defund the ATF. If that doesn't work, we're going to target the individual bureaucrats at the top of the ATF who have exceeded their authority in rulemaking. And if that doesn't work, we're going to take the meat cleaver to the statutes that the ATF believes broadly authorizes their actions.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the greatest freaking paragraphs I've ever read right there.
How many times have we talked about the overreaching, unconstitutionality of not just the ATF, but any of these alphabet agencies? They are unelected bureaucrats that overstep their boundaries and nobody challenges them. Well, I can tell you right now, people like Matt Gaetz, you can say what you want, MTG, she's one of them too. You got Boebert out there in Colorado. That group of 20 that everybody was hating so bad, you should be kissing their butt.
Yeah.
They made it so that we have the best set of rules in the House of Representatives today under McCarthy, and they're holding McCarthy accountable. I just saw him today out there.
Listen to McCarthy talk. He sounds like one of them now.
It's like he grew a set of balls finally and a spine just overnight, and that's what we needed. So I think you're going to see a lot of this coming, especially with the guys in the heads of these committees. They're going to have some power. Yes, they got strapped with an omnibus bill. It's going to stretch to September, so there ain't a hell of a lot they can do. But they can withhold funding. Just because it's approved, don't mean it has to get there.
Right.
And they do hold the purse strings, guys. They don't have to approve spending it. It was approved to spend, but they can withhold those funds, and I hope they do.
He also said there's broad support among Republicans to go after the actions of the ATF. By God, I hope there is.
I do too. And that's why, guys,
it's needed. It's needed.
Now, North Dakota is a Second Amendment sanctuary state. Okay, we did pass that last session, kind of actually easily.
Yeah.
Now the key to that is having a governor with a backbone, which we don't have.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
So that means you need to go down to your counties. We do have some counties out there that are Second Amendment sanctuary counties with sheriffs that'll back it, like in Stark County. That is the key. So when these sheriffs are coming up for election, we need to start finding people that will run against them that think, constitutionally, not the other way.
All right, Clay. Well, I didn't realize there was another good part on here. If you're man crushing, if you're not crushing hard enough on him right now, it's going to get more. So Gaetz says, I believe that you are likely to see ATF bureaucrats hauled before the Judiciary Committee to explain themselves in the coming weeks and months. He also sits on the committee because we're hearing this very loudly from our constituents. And the reason I filed this bill is, frankly, I think the ATF should have to justify their existence at all. Whoa.
Oh,
my
awesome.
gosh. That is awesome.
Mark asked the question, what would happen to the tobacco alcohol in the U.S. if the ATF is abolished? It'll go where it should be, regulated at state level.
Right.
That agency is not constitutional. It was never supposed to be.
The ATF were the freaking guys who chase people around running freaking moonshine back, and they turned it into the ATF so they keep these guys out in jobs.
Yeah, I mean, they were actually, the term revenuers comes because it was, I don't know if you guys understand this, but it's written under Title 18 is where this is written, guys. In fact, all of the gun laws, because that's where they had derivated ATF from, essentially, was the revenuers, the IRS agents. That's where this comes from. So everything is under U.S. Code Title 18. Your taxes are there along with all your gun laws. That's where your gun laws are. U.S. Code Title 18. It's just like I'm looking at this one here, H.R. 450. And this is to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to repeal the National Firearms Act. As long as we're on it, let's bring it up. Right there. So what this essentially means is that now there's no wording yet for it because it just got introduced on the 24th. So that was yesterday. But if you notice where this appears, the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, which is under U.S. Code Title 18, that's where your NFA was written. Because remember when that passed, it was during Prohibition. That's we ain't going to go down that rabbit hole. They do have 5 co-sponsors, but this bill, we'll see text on it soon. I've signed up to follow it, so I get alerts on it when something changes. But I'm telling you guys, now it's not going to pass the Senate. I have my doubts. We just don't have the votes there.
Doesn't matter. Let's have it up. Let's
have this discussion and make these people vote. The NFA should have never happened either. But
so Gordy puts up there, and Gordy's 100% right. Contact Kelly Armstrong and ask him to support HR 374, which is Matt Gaetz's bill.
Oh, yes.
And if you're in Bismarck, here's a number you can call in Bismarck for Kelly Armstrong's office. 701-354-6700. I called her today and
give me that again.
701-354-6700. I called her today and I told them to get on board with the rest of these Republicans who want to do an investigation into AT&T and DirecTV, who are they snuffed out Newsmax from DirecTV today. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so I called. Nice lady. Talked to a nice lady. She's very kind. But I'm gonna call her tomorrow, just like Gordy said. I'm gonna ask him to support this bill of Gaetz's. And Kelly Armstrong's been a very pro Second Amendment representative. So
I spelled it wrong.
Yeah,
it's okay. But yeah, so you guys know what I mean. Kelly's been good. Now Kelly's got his issues. No, don't even get me started. But on the Second Amendment, guys, this guy has been solid. So for sure. I think he will support this. I think you're going to see this pass the House, and it's going to go to the Senate and be defeated. I have no doubt.
That's fine.
But it's again, hold their feet to the fire. Let's see what that son of a bitch McConnell does with it. I am so sick of him, and I hope that guy is. I hope this is his last turn because he's a turncoat. I mean, let's go back to the 1700s when we were forming this country. He's a turncoat. He's a traitor and a tyrant, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Yeah, well, Cody says that too. In what world should a pistol brace make you a felon? And not in any world we're living in. It shouldn't. Damn right it shouldn't. It's ridiculous. And
I can tell you right now, guys, with this pistol brace thing, it's being challenged. By the way, NRA.
Yep.
They woke up, which is good. They're involved in this now. But did you see what they filed? I think it was yesterday or today. They actually filed suit against Illinois for their assault weapons ban.
Yeah, guys, they did. Yep.
We're seeing pushback by NRA, Gun Owners of America, National Shooting Sports Foundation. I think it's the first time I've seen all these groups come together, figuring it out, going, we need to work on these together. If these go to the Supreme Court, which is, imagine that's what's going to happen, the rulings so far have been very favorable. Yeah. And we can set some big precedents, just like we did with DC versus Keller.
Thank you, President Trump, for appointing
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, conservative judges. Appreciate
it. Marty, stills in every home for medical purposes only.
Self-medicating, baby. All right, Clay. Should we hit the
just one quick
profits one? Okay, go for it, my friend.
Gene Cox, if memory is correct, after the NFA was passed, didn't FDR threaten to pack to court if challenged?
Yep.
Or was that Social Security? I think it was both. But I think the NFA was the big thing. He threatened that actually several times. That's where these Democrat socialists got that idea.
FDR, the Democrat,
we don't like it, so we'll pack the court.
Yep. He got his, and his little butt boy hero was Woodrow Wilson. He was one of the first scumbags. And
what do I always say? Democrats lose. What do?
They change the rules. When the Democrats lose, they change the rules. All right, let's do one more
break, and we'll come back
with the happy ending.
Absolutely. Here we go, guys. We'll bring it up.
Guns in the 701s is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call, 701-258-6308.
Absolutely. And I know Doug
Love
is
it.
listening tonight, and we love his support. So, with that said, guys, we're going to wrap it up here, and we have the ever so famous and popular segment called Happy Ending of the Week. All right, take it away.
Glock worked. It looks like a Glock. It looks like it worked perfect. All right. So the happy ending comes to us this week from Florida. Usually we got Florida man. He does something crazy and stupid, but and this week it's Lynn Haven, Florida. So the deets are 6 a.m. Wife told her husband thought there was an intruder in the home. The intruder turned out to be a male. After he heard what his wife said, the husband went and grabbed a gun, confronted this guy. And, apparently they had a little wrestling match and altercation there, which, hey, in my mind, somebody comes in, that's why, retreat or whatever bullshit, shoot them right away, and which we have now, which I think every state should have that. Yep. So they get in an altercation. The husband ends up, hey, guess what? Oh, baby, fairy tale ending, fatally shoots a scumbag.
Oh, yes.
The sheriff's office got there, said the homeowner acted in self-defense. No charges have been filed. And video showed the husband double tapped the scumbag. Nice work, husband. The intruder was identified as 23-year-old Aaron Moravik Lolly. Weird. So I got that from the Blaze. So you want to hear some comments, Clay, from the
I'm sure
the comments section
let's
here?
Hear those.
All right, so comments, I'll give you just a couple here, sounded off. Actually, it was a Blaze's Facebook post here. So, okay, here's one. PSA, some of us understand the castle laws and how to castle up. For the crooks, make better choices. Another good Second Amendment story. And this one here, I know Clay will appreciate this one. The libturd Democrats will try to have this homeowner charged, but thankfully that won't happen because we live in Florida where common sense prevails and libturdism doesn't prevail. Oh, yeah. I love that. Is happy ending, man.
That is a happy ending. He assumed room temperature and he is no more.
Double tapped him. Don't break in. Yeah.
So I'm putting this up here quickly, guys, because this just came into me. I knew there was some coming up. I didn't realize this.
Okay. So yeah.
Evidently tomorrow, so I got to go look at these. Right, I had these up.
Man, Thursday I never even heard about this. Actually,
gun bill.
We're not very good guns in the 701 guy for not knowing this, Clay.
Well,
you know that, right?
I've had a lot on my plate, but who knows? They probably just got scheduled. So here we go. We got HB 1339. That's going to be a permitless concealed carry expansion. That's taking place. HB, which these are all House bills, guys. 1340. It's the FFL right to work. So essentially, and I know what this bill is. It's going to stop municipalities from imposing gun laws stricter than state law. South Dakota has this. We passed that several years ago down there. I actually made Sioux Falls adhere to it several times because
other states call it preemption laws.
Yep, and basically they cannot enforce. A municipality can't come in and say we're going to pass an assault weapons ban because that's more strict than the state law, and the state law
like Fargo tries to do all the time.
Right. HB 1483 has to do with gun-free zones. That one I'm unfamiliar with, so I got some homework now tonight. Yeah. This one comes up about every session. H Bill 1341, Capitol Building Carry bill. I see no reason why they can't carry there, especially our legislators.
You'll see the HP there testifying against that, like I have a couple times. They're not trained like we are, and you don't have.
I bet I can outshoot them.
Yeah, I guarantee I can freaking probably do 80% of them.
HB 1404, that's the campus carry bill. We passed that in South Dakota, I don't know, 10 years ago, basically putting an end to anti-Second Amendment on the college campuses. Now you may carry on college campuses in South Dakota, but it's the same type of bill here in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. They were trying to push. Mm-hmm. We got HB 1194, veterans with a Class 1 permit can carry in schools and government buildings. I'm guessing part of this bill, I'm not real familiar with this one, would be the idea that we could put those people in these schools as protection, kind of like safety
Okay.
officers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they could be like if they had it. So
These are all House bills, huh?
yeah. So yeah, that's what's coming up, guys. There's a lot of bills there. I see Gordy's got Gordy. If you could, just a second. Do you know?
Mhm.
Do you know Gordy, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna put my email me here, Gordy. I'm gonna put this up here, and I will send you every one of these bills. Just email me right here. There it is, and I'll just forward this email on to you that I got. This just came out, so I'm glad they put them. I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was
I'm
that many
kind of pissed that I didn't hear about it till right now.
you and me both.
You
I've
know,
been following.
I
a
figured
lot
at
of this
least my
stuff.
representative would have told me about it or somebody, but I mean, Senate. I know a guy in the Senate, but that's not in the Senate bill. So.
Right, these ain't Senate bills, and my guess is that they've probably been introduced. Sometimes these things get scheduled. They probably just got scheduled today. Who knows? And they probably lumped they do that. They do it on purpose. I don't know about you. I can't
Yeah,
go to every
Marty's
one of
told me
these.
about this. Yeah.
And that's what they do. They sit there. We'll put them all in one. That's dumb because I can't make it to every one of these committee meetings. So anyway,
Right.
email me. Anybody can email me here, guys. I'll maybe just leave this up. I will send you these bills if you can do it.
Yeah.
I did see that one of them here, they actually have a link. And I'll send that link to you guys too. And you can testify from home. They have that capability now. And I would say use it if you want to, because that
Yeah.
makes a hell of a difference.
Oh
you're
yeah, if you can do
testifying.
something, yeah, if you can get in that meeting and do that and
Yep.
hey, if they come out of committee, I mean, it's kind of like I said, I'm kind of pissed it's dropped and I didn't hear nothing from so I'm gonna call tomorrow and text and email. I do got text and say, hey, if these come out of committee, I want to know about it because.
Well, I'm gonna get online, probably yet tonight, and literally get on there and sign up for the email alert on each one of these bills. You can do that too, and then they'll start coming in. I'm sure I could have got on there earlier, but it would have been nice to have a little heads up.
Yeah, I mean, I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I'm not taking another day of vacation and going up there and testifying. I'm tempted to actually right now. I'm kind of pissed, like I said. So whatever, I'm not going to say that again.
No.
I mean, I didn't even know we were going to have any gun bills coming up.
Well, there weren't a lot scheduled, so this all happened.
Yeah, now you
last
dropped.
week. Last week
got
they had that was the last day to up right there. Last week these were, was the last day you could file in the House. I forget what day it was, and Monday this week was the last one that you could file in the Senate. So I guess I dropped the ball too. I wasn't paying that much attention because I didn't think there were any. So, but we will be on them. I can tell you what, we'll have some reports for you next week. Quickly too, next week. I don't know. You and I talked about a few things that we might touch on next week.
Yep. We're gonna hit. We're gonna do. We got Midwest Badass coming up. We're gonna do Crazy Horse, and I mean,
and I have found some interesting things about that man. So
yeah, Clay was telling me it's gonna be a good show. It's going over him, and man, I'm not gonna lie to you. We got so much. The Democrats are going ape shit in these state levels, passing gun control bills.
I can tell you this: if anybody's doing a show or a gun show or a Gun Day Monday type show, you got plenty of information to have 10,000 shows out there right now. There is so much going on. So.
And like Friday, we're on. Like I said, we're on 8:40 this Friday in KFR 550 AM. Todd Mitchell in the morning. We're gonna hit on Gavin Newsom. I mean, after the shooting in California, he was talking, and we got some Geraldo stuff. Honestly, Clay and I are probably gonna have enough time on Todd's show to cover it how we want to. So we're probably gonna hit on some of that next week too. And there's always something popping up, you guys. And a new assault weapons ban bill has been introduced in the United States Senate. We can hit on that, and there's not going to be a shortage of topics.
Should we give them a teaser? Although I do have that.
Let's do that before
we'll give you a teaser, guys.
Here. It's coming up Friday.
This is what weapons look like. This is what they look like when the Second Amendment was passed.
You're going to get arrested in New York for having that. I'm just warning you right now.
I'll let everyone in the country.
Here it comes.
Own this.
Here it
You
comes.
could own this. You could own this. You could load it. You could do whatever you want with it. And this, what you don't want though.
And I can ride to work in a horse,
on a horse, that they can tear the hell out of people.
So weapons of war.
I'm going to put one thing in there. You can't have weapons of war. Geraldo, pro tip, buddy, you were holding a weapon of war. The musket was a weapon of war.
Was a weapon of war, wasn't it?
And Hannity was right. You can get arrested for that in New York. You know why, Clay? Because you can't own 50 cals in New York, and that's over 50 cal.
Yeah, how about that? 50 calibers, because they were probably thinking BMG, didn't realize that muskets come in 50, 54. Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Geraldo, you probably have a lot higher IQ than me, but in the real world, you're a freaking idiot compared to me, buddy.
Did you see how rusty that thing was?
And he was like doing a ramrod down the where it holds the freaking. Oh my God, it's
maybe
it's
you know what?
really.
Maybe he's left-handed. Anyway, well, with that, guys, we probably better wrap her up. It's been
thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Appreciate you. We were having fun. It's been a good show. It was a good night. Hey,
Mark, I got to give you a little quick thing. Did you know that? And there's going to be some news on it, but I don't want to spoil it. But in North Dakota, you could use up to a .49 caliber for big game until coming later. I'll explain this after it's all settled. But yeah.
Oh yeah, so. You were on that one, though, Clay. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Corey. We appreciate it, everybody. We have a lot of fun doing this. We got Jamie into it. His energy came up throughout the show.
Yeah, it did, man. I was like, yeah, it freaking got going. We started talking and.
But we'll see you on on Friday morning.
You bet.
Basically, it said 7:40.
Oh yeah, you can be up here.
Well, and I may be in studio. I don't know yet.
Hey, and I told you if that weather's decent Saturday morning, we need to get out to Dougie's and do a little promo. Me and Clay
I should be.
We got a little idea about something. See if Dougie's around and if the weather's all right. It's gonna be cold no matter what. But I mean,
I don't have to go to everything that's being. I'm going up for a convention up there, but. I'm more of an observer, so if I can sneak away and we can.
That's what I said about the guys in Vietnam right away too.
An observer. Then we blew up an old war, but all right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. Check us out www.gunsinthe701.com, and I guess you know what we say: keep your powder dry. We'll see you guys next week.
Talk to you soon here, Clayton.
Yep.
See you.